What food do you associate with me?
I'm on a mission to find the cheesiest foods in Walt Disney World. How serious am I? I'm wearing a cheese board earring. That's how serious I am. Hey everybody, it's Molly with Mammoth Club, and I am a cheese fanatic. It's been my favorite food since I was a child, so today I am headed around Walt Disney World to find the ooiest, the gooiest, the cheesiest snacks available and talk to you about which ones you should eat on your next Disney vacation. I am so excited to make this video. I think it's going to be an unbelievable day. Let's get to it. We are starting this cheese-tastic day in the hub, the paradise, the land of the best Disney World snacks, Epcot. Foodies know when it comes to eating and feasting in Walt Disney World, this is the place to be. Between the basically year-round festivals at this point, 11 countries to eat around the world, there is all kinds of deliciousness in store. But today, we're on a quest for the cheesiest, and I have a couple spots in mind. We have made it into Mexico, the first stop on our cheesy tour around Walt Disney World. Of course, we had to visit the Mexico Pavilion. They've got empanadas, they've got tacos, they've got queso. This is one of the most cheese-tastic places you can go in all of Walt Disney World, and I'm very excited to kick this off. I'm at La Cantina de San Angel, which is the quick service restaurant in the Mexico Pavilion. It's on the lagoon side, so you can get a really nice table and a really nice view. I have grabbed the empanadas con queso, which are cheese empanadas that come with a side of cheese if you order them as a kid's meal. I love ordering off the kids menu. You get a smaller portion of the same exact food, which means you're saving money and room in your stomach for more snacks. You can get the adults as well, but the adults doesn't even come with queso. You'd have to pay extra for the queso, and it's good queso here. And while there are several places to eat in Mexico, it doesn't get cheesier than a cheese empanado dunked in queso. So let's do it. Look at that cheesy goodness. Look at that. We're gonna dunk it in the cheese now. If you wanted more queso, it's only 75 cents to get a side of this. And it's like good white queso, not fake cheese queso. These are so simple but so good. It's just that really good Monterey cheese, dipping it into the queso, which does have a little bit of heat. There's some peppers in there. They also have a salsa bar here if you want to kick it up a notch with a little bit of spice. The crust is flaky and delicious. They are so uber cheesy, especially when dipped in there. We're starting this cheese quest off very strong. I'm going to be rating each dish on a scale of 1 to 10 cheeses, and that is how cheesy it is, how delicious it is. I'm going to give this one 8 cheeses. I love that you can get it as a kid's meal, so that it comes with a bag of apples and a water bottle and the cheese in addition to your delicious empanadas. And while these are amazing and I eat them as a snack quite regularly, I do think we're going to try a few more unique things. So very highly rated, very delicious, very, very cheesy. You already know what time it is. It's time to eat on a trash can. While I'm trying to keep this video to cheesy delights that you can eat year-round, I am very lucky to be filming this during Food and Wine because one of the best cheesy treats that you can only get at a sit-down restaurant is available to all. And I, of course, am talking about the signature Le Cellier cheddar cheese soup. This is that incredible bacon ale cheddar cheese soup. It comes with one of their signature pretzel rods. It's available in this small portion during Food and Wine at the Canada booth, or again, it's available year-round inside Le Cellier, which is the signature steakhouse in Canada. My gosh, it is basically like eating a bowl of cheese. Like, I've made this soup before, it's basically just cheese. I don't care how hot it is. It is 85 out right now and 1,000,000,000% humidity because a hurricane's coming here tomorrow. But oh my gosh, is this soup delicious. A little pretzel rod in there. This soup is so good. It is so cheesy. It is likely one of the cheesiest things we're gonna eat today because it's literally just a bowl of cheese. But I do like that salty bacon kind of cuts it a little bit, and when you dip the pretzel rod in there, that helps cut it as well with a little bit of saltiness and the doughiness from the pretzel. Not super spicy, nothing that obscure or over the top with the flavors. It's just really good cheese. You can taste a little bit of that beer as well. Perfection. This soup is simply perfection. Every time I have it, it's so good. It's like you almost forget how good it is, and then you eat it and you're like, wow, there's something so special about that. It is definitely greater than the sum of its parts. I'm gonna give it a 9 on the cheesy scale. Considering you're basically just eating a bowl of cheese, it's definitely a signature Disney treat, snack, starter, whatever you want to call it. So it ranks higher on the cheesy scale. We've got one country left in Epcot. I bet you can guess which one. In a complete turn of events, we ended up in France for our final spot in Epcot. I know, who could have predicted this? And I know some of you are thinking like, oh, I thought you were going to go to Italy, which I can agree. Italy is another great cheesy destination. But unfortunately right now, Italy doesn't really have any kind of quick service or snack options. They have the 2 sit-down restaurants, Via Napoli and Tutto Italia, where you can get delicious pizza, pasta, charcuterie, and cheese boards. But the pizza window isn't open right now, and Tutto Gusto, where you used to be able to just go in and get a cheese board without a reservation, isn't available. It's only available for drinks. So, because of that, we're not going to do Italy. We are going to the French bakery. The French bakery Léal is my favorite quick service restaurant in all of Walt Disney World. It's this sweet little bakery back in the France Pavilion, and almost anything on the menu here would qualify for our cheese video, but we are looking for the cheesiest thing possible. But this is where you can get that amazing croissant with ham and cheese and bechamel sauce. You can get a croque monsieur, you can get a quiche. It's all fabulous and all cheesy. Considering basically everything in the bakery case has cheese on it in some capacity, it was a tough choice, but ultimately I decided that if we're doing a cheese throwdown, we're doing a cheese throwdown. So I went for the imported cheese plate. It's got 5 different French cheeses. It looks like a goat, a blue, a brie. This says a soft ripened cheese, and then this is a little bit harder of a cheese. And then I added on the half baguette, which is $2.25. For the record, you can just buy the half baguette. So if you wanted just a half fresh made today baguette for a snack with some butter, I'm not here to judge. That sounds amazing. And I've ripped up 5 little pieces of baguette, and I'm going to do a little one of each. We're going to start with the goat, which I believe in French you would call chèvre. I don't speak French. I took French until about 5th grade. I watched the Muzzy cartoons. Anyone else know what I'm talking about? But besides basic counting and Je m'appelle Molly, I don't know any French. What I do know is that goat cheese is phenomenal. Creamy, smooth, oh my gosh, so delicious. That might be my favorite one, and we've only had one. Next up, the brie. Definitely still a soft cheese, but that one does have a stronger flavor. It's kind of got that nuttiness that brie is known for. A delicious brie cheese, and it's so, so creamy. Next up, this is the one that was in that little container. It just said it's a soft, ripened cow's milk cheese. I'm so happy. Still stronger than the last one. We're getting progressively stronger as I go through the cheeses. Not quite as soft and creamy as the brie or as the goat cheese, of course, but it is still a nice soft cheese. I feel like this one is the most exciting so far, and maybe the most unusual for people that are used to American cheeses. Now I'm going to go for the hardest cheese there. I'm saving the blue for last, obviously, because that'll change your palate the most. It's still not a hard cheese. I would call it like a semi-hard cheese, I believe is what they refer to it as. It's kind of like a Jarlsberg or a Swiss consistency. I think this video is the best idea I've ever had. That one has a very mild flavor on the front, and then it has some of that nuttiness similar to the brie on the back end. It's definitely the hardest cheese in the bunch, so this one's like the kind of thing that you might want to put on a sandwich, but it's phenomenal with that soft, buttery baguette. And last, but certainly not least, the blue. She's definitely blue cheese, which I know is a very acquired taste. Some people love blue cheese. I'm one of those people. Some people hate blue cheese. Definitely the funkiest cheese we've had so far, but it's a nice, soft, creamy, spreadable texture. What's great about this cheese board is it's a mix and match, create your own adventure tale. I feel like the goat and the blue might be really good on a piece of baguette together. The downfall of this cheese board is it's expensive. It's like $11. It's not a ton of cheese. However, if you're looking for simple deliciousness and authentic, it doesn't get more authentic than just eating a bunch of French cheese with a freshly made baguette. On the cheese scale, I'm going to give this one an 8.5. Obviously, it's like as cheesy can be. It's literally just eating cheese, and it's very fun to sample these authentic French cheeses. However, it's certainly not as unique as the cheddar cheese soup. You could make this at home by going to the grocery store. I recommend Trader Joe's. Their cheese selection is delicious at a great price. So because it's more expensive, because it's not anything you can't do at home, it's not going to rank quite as high as the cheddar cheese syrup. Walking out of the bakery, I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention, again, my favorite thing from the bakery. It is that ham and cheese croissant with the bechamel on top. Ask for it toasted. It's like $5 or $6. It can be an amazing snack or a light lunch. It's one of my favorite Disney eats anywhere, but that one wasn't quite cheesy enough for this video. Goodbye, Epcot. The cheese lords have served us well here, but it's on to the next park. Hooray for Hollywood, where we've got a few delectable cheesy treats to enjoy. First up, we're headed to Andy's backyard. Hello, little duck. How are you? Are you having a nice day? Are you coming to say hi to me? Oh my gosh, hi. Hi. I love you. I love you so much. Okay, I'm off to eat cheese now. Bye. Wouldn't being a Disney duck just be like the best? You would just get snacks and food, and people would give you popcorn. I mean, you'd never be able to live in the real society. Like, you're fully dependent on humans feeding you at a theme park, which, by the way, don't feed the ducks, because everything we feed them isn't good for them. But man, what a time to be alive if you were a Disney duck. Welcome to Toy Story Land and Woody's Lunchbox. This is the quick service location in the land, themed to be like Andy's mom packed him lunch out of his lunchbox, which is why it's so cute with his thermos and his lunchbox. I went ahead and posted a mobile order for what I wanted to eat. I highly recommend that here, considering it gets very busy and the line can get very long. This is one of the fan favorites, so I also recommend making that mobile order early because the windows do fill up because it's such a limited capacity for seating. Woody's Lunchbox is known for their tachos, which are basically nachos on top of tater tots, a grilled cheese, which, spoiler alert, we're about to enjoy, as well as those Lunchbox tarts, which are kind of like fancy Pop-Tarts that rotate flavors. I think this restaurant, much like the entire land, is so cute. If you look, Andy's used pencils and Christmas lights and all kinds of things. His green army men and blocks are up here to make the whole land. It's just the cutest thing ever. And look, you could literally eat cheese sitting on cheese, because that's a Baby Bell cheese right there. Giddy up, cowboys, because we have our next cheesy item. Once again, my favorite park hack, eating off the kids menu. This is the kids size of the Woody's Lunchbox famous grilled cheese. It's got multiple kind of cheeses. Just look at this. Look how ooey. Look at that. Look how ooey that is. Oh my god, I gotta save my cheese. Cheese! Look at that. That is like ooey gooey deliciousness. When you order a kid's meal, you get half the sandwich. An adult would get a full sandwich. And then you get two sides when you order a kid's meal. So I chose the tomato soup dipper because you got to have tomato soup with your grilled cheese. And I always get a cutie to throw in my backpack. And when you order kids' meals, you get a drink. So I have a little water bottle as well. This is, in my opinion, the best standard grilled cheese on property. Do I have cheese on my face? Probably. It's got 3 different cheeses on it. It's got provolone, it's got cheddar, it's got American, and they use some kind of like garlic herby spread to put on the bread as well, so you've got that garlic flavor going on. I'm gonna dip it in our tomato soup. Now, is this that unique? No, you can get a grilled cheese pretty much anywhere. I eat grilled cheeses quite regularly. Alan is quite a professional grilled cheese maker. This is a very good grilled cheese. Again, I like that garlicky flavor. I love how cheesy it is. And by getting this kids meal, this was $6.79. This is a full meal for me for less than $7. Disney, that's almost unheard of. So I recommend eating off the kids meals everywhere. I especially recommend it here. You can also do a kids portion of the tots at breakfast. That's a great snack as well. But sometimes you just can't beat a grilled cheese and tomato soup. This thing is cheesy and delicious, but on the cheese scale, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. The main reason being a plain grilled cheese sandwich is not that exciting. It's not that unique, as delicious as it is. It also wouldn't be fair to rank this higher than the cheese empanadas, which are kind of like a cheese sandwich, but then I dunked them into more cheese, which ups their cheesiness level. So we're gonna give this one a 7.5. Perfect for kids and your picky eaters. I love Woody's Lunchbox anyway, but now we have a date with more cheese. Looks like they're making some progress on Woody's Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, which is gonna be a sit-down restaurant featuring the Toy Story characters as cutouts and barbecue food. I'm intrigued. My hesitation with Roundup Rodeo Barbecue is 1, do we need more barbecue in Disney? 2, why not just do Pizza Planet correctly and do it well? And 3, why isn't character dining? Why is there not a Toy Story character dining experience? it feels like a missed opportunity. People love Toy Story. By people, I do mean me. But I'm just saying, have Woody, Buzz, Jesse, Green Army Man, and Pizza Planet be awesome. But nobody asked me. I am so delighted by this next cheesy location because when I walked into the park, I didn't know if we'd be able to go. There weren't any reservations at 50's Primetime Cafe, but I used the walk-up wait list and I was able to secure a spot to get one of the most underrated cheesy treats. 50's Primetime Cafe is a sit-down restaurant and it's like walking into Leave It to Beaver or a different 50's sitcom. The entire restaurant is themed to be in the 50's, from the decor even to the servers. The cast members are going to act like they're your cousins. They're going to tell you to keep your elbows off the table. Make sure you finish your food. If you finish your plate, you can be a member of the Clean Plate Club. This is a very fun, interactive, exciting experience. But like I said, it's pretty popular, so it was booked up for reservations. But I used the walk-up waitlist feature of the My Disney Experience app to grab a spot. The walk-up wait list for restaurants can be accessed either by typing in that individual restaurant on My Disney Experience, or you can go to the dining tip board, which is part of the tip board, and see which restaurants are available. It will give you an estimated wait time or let you know if it's at capacity. You can click that, then you'll add in your party size, you will add in your phone number so you can be notified, and then they'll send you a push notification and a text message when it's time to return to the restaurant. You then have about 10 minutes to get back to the restaurant and you get a spot in line. A little pro tip on the wait list, even if when you first look at it, it says at capacity, go ahead and click it, because sometimes if you click it and fiddle with the party size, it actually is available. Like, it defaults to a party of 4, but sometimes when I take it down to a party of 1, it shows that I can join the list. So that's a little pro tip. The 50's Primetime Cafe core menu is things like fried chicken, pot roast, meatloaf. It is comfort food. It is comfort classics. They're also known for their milkshakes, especially that peanut butter and jelly one, which is delicious. But I could not resist getting something else, and that's a Diet Coke. And I know you're like, who cares about a Diet Coke? But it's a vanilla Diet Coke. And not like a vanilla Diet Coke from a can. I'm talking like they add real vanilla syrup to it. Like you're at an old-fashioned soda fountain. They have cherry as well. I don't drink a lot of soda, but for some reason I love a soda shop-style vanilla Diet Coke. Here she is, the 50's Primetime Cafe fried cheese. So this is a Boursin garlic and herb cheese. It's that creamy spreadable cheese that you can get at the grocery store. And then it is flash fried in panko and some more herbs. And then it's served with a raspberry sauce, some fruit, and a crostini. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Are you ready for this? Look at this. This is just a brick of cheese. Like, that's literally just a block of cheese. And I'm not mad about it. Okay, trying to do it with one-handed, it's not working. Look at that. Yes. I love Boursin. It is creamy, it is delicious. Who doesn't want to eat it fried? Oh my gosh, it is so good. It is so garlicky, which I love garlic. Sorry, Alan. It is so garlicky and delicious, so creamy. It's got a little bit of crispity crunch from that panko breadcrumb. Put a little raspberry on it. Adding the raspberry sauce is next level because it adds a little bit of tartness, a little bit of fruitness, sweetness that's balanced so perfectly by the creamy, garlicky cheese. Plus, this crostini is amazing. It's like a giant crouton. And I love that it comes with Granny Smith apples, too. Anytime I make a charcuterie board at home, I put Granny Smith apples on it because they're so tart and crisp and work well with cheese. This ranks high on the cheese scale. I'm going to give it a 9.5 on the cheese scale. It is delicious. It is so cheesy because it's literally just a brick of creamy cheese that's been fried. It's more unique than anything else we've had on the cheese scale so far. It's more underrated than anything else. Plus, you're in this fabulous atmosphere. Yeah, 9.5. This one's gonna be hard to beat. Oh, Hollywood Studios, you treated me so well, so cheesy and delicious, including our new front runner. I'm sure a lot of you are surprised I didn't go grab that cheese board, that meat and cheese board I love at Baseline, but I figured on a list of the cheesiest things, we would only include one cheese board, and I included one from France because it doesn't get more authentically cheese than that. Should I do a video just on the best charcuterie boards? Anyway, thank you, Hollywood Studios. We are headed to our next cheesy destination. I have made it to Disney Springs on day 2 of this eating cheese adventure. Thanks to Hurricane Ian, I had to split this into 2 parts, but I am not mad about having to only eat cheese for another full day at Disney World. We have some of the best restaurants and best cheesy treats right here. Let's get to it. First up, Chef Art Smith's Homecomin. This is owned and run by Chef Art Smith, who's a James Beard award-winning Southern chef. He was Oprah's personal chef for over a decade, and he is known for his amazing fried chicken, his incredible brunch, moonshine bar, all kinds of Southern fixins, including biscuits, mashed potatoes, but you know we're here for a cheesy delight. Say hello to Mama's mac and cheese. You knew macaroni and cheese had to make an appearance on a video all about cheese, and this is for sure the best mac and cheese in Walt Disney World. Look how ooey and gooey and creamy this is. It is American and cheddar and Parmesan, so triple the cheese, triple the fun. Look at how creamy! This cheese sauce is thick with 2 C's. It is absolutely incredible. It is simple deliciousness. You know, I always say that. A lot of times mac and cheese gets over the top and out of control and people add a bunch of stuff into it. And don't get me wrong, I love a loaded mac and cheese with some jalapeno and some bacon, some breadcrumbs and all of that goodness. But when it comes to just a simple, amazing, perfect mac and cheese, who can't beat Homecomin? And if you thought I was coming to Homecomin in the middle of a cheese video and not eating one of Chef Art Smith's signature cheddar drop biscuits, you're out of your mind. These are his signature recipe. I've made these at home. They are full of so much cheese. There's some jalapenos in there as well. It's buttery, it's flaky, it's cheesy, it's delicious and perfect. One of my all-time favorite Disney foods are the thigh-high chicken biscuits, which is Chef Art's signature fried chicken, some sweet and spicy pickles and hot honey on these cheddar biscuits. It's an appetizer. When you come to Homecomin, thank me later, order those. It's amazing, but I've literally never had anything bad here. This is some good, stick to your ribs, comfort food, Southern cooking, and it is just phenomenal. Have I lost it? Am I going too hard in the cheese video? Is that even possible? It's been a while. I'm a maniacal cheese genius. Ugh, just everything at Homecomin is so good. As a fun fact, that single biscuit was only $1.25, so you don't have to get a whole side of biscuits if you just want to try one, which I highly recommend. You can do that at quite a bargain price. Now, I also wanted to point out that Homecomin is very popular. It's typically difficult to get a reservation here, so my recommendation, if you're not able to book one, is to check about sitting at the bar, especially in off-peak meal times. And if you're a smaller party of 1 to 2, you can usually grab a seat at the bar where you can order full service. Now, the cheese-o-meter. Okay, before I give these rankings, I do want to say Homecomin is one of my favorite restaurants in all of Disney World. So these rankings are just about cheese level. The biscuit, which is delightful, I'm going to give it a 7. And that's not to say you shouldn't eat a biscuit, you certainly should, but it's just not the cheesiest thing that we have eaten or are going to eat by a long shot, so it's got to fall a little bit lower. The macaroni and cheese, I'm going to give it an 8. It is delicious, it is amazing, it is, in my opinion, the best macaroni and cheese in Walt Disney World. But it is not that unique, it's not that exciting, it's just classic macaroni and cheese done very well, and we've had some more exciting things already, and we're going to have some more exciting things. Plus, if you're coming to Homecomin, that is actually not my recommendation of what to get. You gotta try those thigh-high chicken biscuits. You gotta try a biscuit in general with a pepper jelly on there especially, or you gotta do the fried chicken. Like, there's just more signature items that are more unique and better, I think, than the macaroni and cheese. But we away. There's more cheese to be consumed. TLDR, eat at Homecomin, eat the thigh-high chicken biscuits. Mac and cheese is phenomenal, but not as unique as other dishes. From one of my favorite restaurants in Disney World to another one of my favorite restaurants in Walt Disney World, our next stop on this cheese adventure is Wine Bar George. Wine Bar George is brought to you by Master Sommelier George Militotes, who's one of the few Master Sommeliers in the entire world. Prior to this, he was the wine guy over at California Grill. Wine Bar George is his restaurant here. They have a variety of small plates as well as full meals. They do charcuterie boards, cheese boards, and of course they are known for their incredible wine selection. Taking a look at the Wine Bar George menu, I love coming to Wine Bar George for date night, girls night. I bring my mom here a lot. We came here for Mother's Day brunch. This is ultimately one of my favorite Disney restaurants. They have a lot of small plates, which I enjoy. Some of my favorites and their most famous are their burrata, their house-made meatballs, crispy mac and cheese bites would have been a great choice for this video, but I've got something a little hotter on deck. Their hummus is also amazing. Like I said, they do boards. You can do a cheese board, a charcuterie board, a board that mixes them both. And then they do have some entrees as well. This ribeye is absolutely phenomenal. And they've got a skirt steak family plate as well as a sea bass family plate. Wine Bar George also does brunch on the weekends, and their burrata is unbelievable. One of my favorite meals in Disney World. It's fresh burrata, it's ciabatta bread, avocado, and candied bacon. It is not to be missed. And while they have amazing cocktails of all varieties, winos, you definitely are going to want to check out the wine list here. It was curated by George himself, and they have over 130 different wines of all different price points, all different locations, regionalities, grapes. And what I love about coming here is that I like wine a lot. I drink a fair amount of wine. I know enough about wine that I've been to Napa and Sonoma and I haven't embarrassed myself, but I know not nearly as much as the wonderful cast members here who, no matter what you're going to order, no matter how much you know or don't know about wine, they will help you find your perfect pour. For example, I let the bartender know what I intended on ordering tonight. He asked if I liked white, red, sparkling. I said I was always in the mood for something sparkling. He recommended a few and ultimately settled on this cava, which is the Spanish version of champagne. It's a sparkling wine. Let's try it. Delicious. I told him nothing too sweet. This is perfect. I do think it's going to pair amazingly with my cheese dish that's on the way. Yes. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you. Say hello to certainly the fanciest cheese in this video, the saganaki on fire. It's a Greek sheep's cheese, and then it's got a Greek brandy poured on top of it. They light it on fire, table side, and then put out the fire with some fresh lemon juice. That is just ooey gooey cheese. I'm gonna get a crostini. Look at this. Seriously. Cheese cheers. It is so good. I want to cry a little bit. It's been a while since I've had this. It is amazing. It is a really mild sheep's cheese. You can taste a little bit of the kind of fruitiness, I guess, of the brandy, and then you can definitely taste the acidity from the lemon, the little citrus zest in it. But it is so perfect. And I want to say it's simple because it's just a few ingredients, but it's obviously not simple because it literally came on fire. You know what it reminds me of? You know when you like make nachos or something at home and some of the cheese falls off the plate and it ends up on your cookie sheet and then you scrape it off and eat it? Does anyone else do that? Anyway, it kind of reminds me of that, but like fancy, and I mean that as the highest compliment. And of course, as predicted by the fabulous team here, it goes great with the cava. I'm not kidding when I say Wine Bar George is probably the restaurant that we visit the most, just because you can come sit at the bar. Again, you can do walk-ups at the bar if you aren't able to get a reservation. Get a good glass of wine, get some small plates, try a bunch of stuff. This is somewhere I bring people a lot when they come to visit Walt Disney World, because people don't expect somewhere like Wine Bar George to exist in Walt Disney World. And this cheese is a perfect example of that. A+. On the cheese scale, I'm gonna have to give this a 10. It's cheesy as all get out because it's literally just cheese, but it's fancy and unique because it's on fire. Like, I've never had anything like this before anywhere else. I'm sure they do it, but it's definitely more unique than some other things we've eaten, and it doesn't get cheesier than literally just eating a block of cheese. A fabulous moment at Wine Bar George, as always. I just adore that spot. I also adore the fact that on busy nights, they have a pop-up bar right here that you can get drinks at. And then they also have the basket, which is where you can get some of their dishes to go. They have charcuterie boards here. They have these loaded fries, and you can get those amazing mac and cheese bites right here at the basket. You can also get boozy Dole Whip drinks. They're a little sweet for my taste, but if you are into a delicious frozen cocktail, this is a great spot. We have one more spot at Disney Springs on our cheese quest, our cheese venture. And we're going to continue with these big names because we are headed to another James Beard Award-winning chef's restaurant. We are headed now into Frontera Cocina, which is brought to you by Chef Rick Bayless. This is a Mexican restaurant, but it's not your traditional Mexican restaurant. If you're used to like Americanized Tex-Mex, this is going to be a little bit different. You're going to see things you recognize on the menu like tacos and guacamole, but it's a lot more authentic. Chef Rick Bayless specializes in the Oaxacan region of Mexican style cooking, so you're going to see some unique things as well. In my opinion, this is somewhat of an underrated restaurant. I think a lot of people don't understand the menu menu, or they don't understand the price point for the menu, because typically when you think Mexican food, you don't think of a gourmet experience, but it is fabulous, and we are ready for some cheese. Some queso, I should say. And once again, I'm walking right in and eating at the bar. So this is a good tip. Again, I don't know if it'll work if you've got a big party or it's peak meal time, but it works for a small party in the mid-afternoon. Taking a look at the menu, they've got some amazing starters like queso fundido. They have incredible guacamole here. They've got some good salads, amazing tacos. My favorite tacos I've tried are the carne asada tacos. And this is what I mean by I say people don't expect Mexican to be a gourmet experience. They're $28 tacos, which sounds ridiculous, but it's like incredible, delicious, decadent steak on some of the best tacos I've ever had. They also do a carne asada meal. They do some fish dishes, some enchiladas, some mole chicken. Oaxaca is very known for the mole sauce. They also have the same bar team as the Mexico Pavilion, so you know if you order a margarita or a cocktail here, it's going to be phenomenal. My personal favorite here is the Play with Fire, which is a spicy marg with mezcal. But this is a really great restaurant, and I feel like it's pretty underrated. Y'all, this smells so good. It's the queso fundido, which is Chihuahua cheese. It's melted, and then it's got poblano peppers and caramelized onions in there. It's paired with the signature smoky chipotle and the salsa verde that Frontera Cocina and Chef are known for. And then a lot of people expect tortilla chips when you get queso, but instead here you get beautiful house-made tortillas, corn tortillas. Yum! This is literally just a bowl of cheese, and I'm excited about it. I'm basically like making a cheese quesadilla kind of right now, because like look at this. That. Oh my gosh! Look at those peppers and onions. I want to cry. I'm so excited to eat this. Now you can get this topped with chorizo, but I figured for a cheese throwdown, I wanted to stick just with cheese. This is not your average queso. It is so cheesy, it is so gooey, it's really high quality cheese. I love the addition of the peppers and the caramelized onions in there for a little something different. And then the salsas here are so amazing. I love that smoky chipotle one. I love the green one too. You can actually buy these and take these home, or you can buy them at a lot of grocery stores for like a fraction of the cost. You can get it at Publix, so don't tell them I told you that, but you can. I walked from Wine Bar George thinking they had this in the bag, but now I'm not so sure. This is so good. These house-made tortillas are amazing. I could eat 100 of them. The cheese is so good. A little bit of spice from that smoky chipotle salsa. I'm living my best life right now. I think this is going to get a 9-8 on the cheese scale. I'm knocking it a little bit lower than Wine Bar George just because it's not quite as unique as the cheese on fire. While it's definitely a more unique queso than what a lot of people are used to, this isn't the only place you can get queso fundido, even at Disney World. And I'm sure some of you have had queso fundido before. I'm willing to bet more people have had queso fundido than have had cheese that's been on fire, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, this is phenomenal. It's delicious. I love that you come to the bar and get this with a great margarita. This video is literally the best idea I've ever had. We're not in Disney Springs anymore, friends. There are 2 resorts that have cheesy treats I had to include on this list. First stop, Port Orleans French Quarter. And no, we're not here for beignets. Although, one to go would never hurt nobody. Port Orleans French Quarter is a moderate resort. It's one of my favorite moderate resorts. It's also the smallest of the moderate resorts. However, it does have a sister resort, Port Orleans Riverside. Port Orleans French Quarter, as you might have guessed, is themed to French Quarter of Louisiana and Mardi Gras. So they have some of the best food at moderate resorts, again, including those famous beignets. But we're on a cheesy quest. So we're headed to Scat Cat's Lounge. Scat Cat's Lounge is located right near Scat Cat's Cafe. That's what's in there. That's where you can get your beignets all day long. Scat Cat Lounge is only open in the evenings. It is your bar, lounge, live entertainment venue here at Port Orleans French Quarter. They do have live jazz certain nights. You can get appetizers, full bar, and so it's a great place to come if you're staying here or not for a little nighttime entertainment. But we're obviously here for cheese. Taking a look at the lounge menu, they've got some good bar food, some kind of twists on classic bites. They've got loaded potato puffs. Those are tater tots, friends. They have Cat's beignets, which are beignets that come with the trio of dipping sauces, including green goddess, pimento cheese, and red pepper jelly. They have an oyster po' boy served on a beignet. They have wings. They have the Baton Rouge beignets, which are the boozy beignets. And you might be thinking, Molly, you skipped the Mardi Gras fritters. No, I did not, friends. They're right here. They are our next entry in our cheese crawl. So these are house-made pimento cheese fritters, and they have pepper jelly with them. I love pimento cheese. It's absolutely delicious. It's a Southern staple, and what better thing to do than fry it? If you're not from the South, if you're not familiar with pimento cheese, it is a dip that's usually served with like crackers or baguette or something, or sometimes they do sandwiches with it, but it is made out of cheese, usually cheddar cheese, and then sometimes jalapenos are added, something to make it creamy is added, like mayonnaise or sour cream, and then pimentos, like little pimento peppers are added. But these are like fried pimento cheese fritters, and then again, it's got some pepper jelly on top.
And a hot one. And a hot one.
I really backloaded the end of this video. For starters, you can tell whatever pimento cheese they use is really good. Sometimes pimento cheese is lackluster. Like there's been pimento cheese at the Food and Wine Festival before. I thought it wasn't that great. The actual pimento cheese they used is fabulous. Then it's got this really crispy coating. It reminds me a lot of the one we had over at 50s. But what really is nice is the red pepper jelly, because it's a little tiny bit of heat, but it's mostly a little sweet. So it really balances and kind of breaks up that fattiness of the cheese. It doesn't taste that different than just a regular like cheese fritter. Like it kind of is like a fancy version of like a mozzarella stick is the best way I could describe it to you. So if some kind of mozzarella stick is going in this video, we're gonna zhuzh it up. As a little pro tip, ask for extra of that pepper jelly, because really the pepper jelly is what's selling it for me as being something a little more unique. Honestly, this is probably one of the best lounges in Walt Disney World that you've never heard of. This and the one we're going to next are very under the radar. They're not as well known as a lot of places in the bigger, more popular resorts like the Monorail resorts or the Beach Club, Yacht Club area. So if you are looking for somewhere to have a cocktail, to have some live entertainment, they are currently playing just Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights. But there's no age restrictions or anything. You can come have a cocktail, come have a cheesy, delicious bite, or get a beignet from next door, enjoy the live music. It's a great way to spend an afternoon or evening. On the cheesy scale, I'm going to give this an 8-7. It is very, very delicious. As someone that loves pimento cheese, I'm very into it. However, the real star of the show is the pepper jelly. The cheese itself is not the star. The dish itself is phenomenal. I highly recommend it if you're over here. However, it's not quite as over-the-top cheesy as just like the straight-up cheese we had in things like the queso fundido or the fire cheese, but still very, very good. One cheesy dish left. Y'all, this band is so good. Should I do a best lounges video? Only one more cheesy spot on my list, and it's maybe not the resort you'd expect. Welcome to my favorite resort in Walt Disney World, Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, resort lobby. Maybe Wilderness Lodge, but oh, I love it. The huge 5-story ceilings, the big glass window outside overlooking the savannah, the music, the artifacts, it's just absolutely gorgeous in here. And while you may have expected me to pick this because it's my favorite resort, I feel like you probably didn't expect me to pick this for a cheese treat. But nonetheless, there is an amazing one here that I saved for last. I just realized I left my ears in the car. Well, we've gone too far. Let's get cheese. I'm starving. Animal Kingdom Lodge is home to some of the best, most underrated dining and some of my favorites on property, including Jiko, their signature restaurant, Boma, the amazing buffet, Sanaa over at Kidani Village, where you can get that amazing bread service, but we're not going to any of those places. We are once again hitting a very underrated and under-the-radar bar, the Victoria Falls Lounge. The Victoria Falls Lounge is located on this kind of halfway level between the ground level with Boma and Jiko and the top second level with the lobby, but it's an adorable little lounge. There's all kinds of chairs, there's bar seating, there's comfy seating, a couple bar bites per usual, and a great cocktail list. Oh my gosh, look at this lamp with the little rhinos. Look at that little lamp. Taking a look at the cocktail menu, they've got a variety of signature cocktails. Several of them are made with some kind of African liqueur or liquor. They also have some beers, including Casa, which is a Moroccan beer, a couple of bites, which you know, I bet you know which one we're getting already by looking at that. A Bry Burger. gonna have to get that another time. Braai is a type of grilling that they do in Africa, and it's delicious. And then they have a large selection of African wines. You can do flights if you'd like, as well as a single glass, a pour of something. And I couldn't resist getting a glass of Pinotage, which is a red wine varietal known in South Africa, originated in South Africa. It's absolutely delicious. A lot of people don't realize that South Africa is one of the top 10 wine regions in the world, and their wine is amazing. I know this because my life bucket list trip that Alan and I took for my 30th birthday was to South Africa, and we went wine tasting, we went on a safari, and we went Great White Shark cage diving. It was amazing, absolutely the best trip of my life. Should we go again and make content about it? Don't have to tell me twice. Oh, it's so good. My go-to wine is Pinot Noir, and Pinot Noir grapes were the original grape that were crossed with another South African grape to make Pinotage, so it's very similar to that. It is very light, but it's not sweet. It's a little bit on the drier side, a little bit of notes of cherry. It is a phenomenal wine. It's an easy drinking wine, and I'm so glad that they have Pinotage here, and now I'm just waiting for my cheese. Our final cheesy treat has arrived. This is the Victoria Falls goat cheese dip. So it's a spiced goat cheese dip, and then it's got an olive tremula on top, which is an African kind of sauce tapenade. And then it also has a variety of breads and crackers, including, looks like some naan bread, some lavash crackers, so a little variety there, a little expanding of the palate. Excited. Yum, yum, yum. It is so good. Now, you do have to like goat cheese, which I love, because it's just mostly warm goat cheese, and it tastes amazing, but it definitely has that distinct goat cheese flavor, that kind of nuttiness, that kind of tanginess that goat cheese has. I love the olive tremula. It's got a little bit of brininess and saltiness mixing in with that creamy goat cheese. And then there's definitely some kind of lemon or other citrus, because you can taste a little burst of acidity from that as well. It's a really nice balanced dish. There's some good spices in there. If you've eaten at Jiko or Boma or Sanaa and you know the flavor profile of this African cooking, I think you're really going to enjoy it. It certainly marks one of the most unique things we've had on this adventure. A lot of times cheese is very, very delicious, but it's very, very familiar. And this, adding in some African spices, adding in that olive tremula on top, really mixes it up. I also love the warm naan bread, the crackers. Phenomenal. I can't stop eating it long enough to talk about it. On the cheese scale, I'm going to give it a 9-2. The spice profile, the various breading, pairings, it's like a bowl of hot goat cheese. Much more unique, probably the most unique thing on this list. I do want to point out that not only is this the most unique dish, I also think it's going to be the most difficult to get picky eaters to enjoy. Like I said, pretty much everything we've done in this video has got a pretty simple palate. It's mostly just cheesy with different accents. This actually has a flavor of olive. This has a flavor of spices you may not be familiar with. So this is the one that I would say maybe super, super picky eaters, especially because goat cheese isn't everybody's favorite, might want to be a little bit wary of. But if you've got a more adventurous palate, if you like this spice palette, it's phenomenal. A flavorful end to the most fun video I've ever made. Okay, maybe not the most fun, but certainly the most delicious video I've ever made. Here is your final ranking of the 10 cheeses we had. I loved everything I ate, but some of these are really, really fun, really unique, and at some of the best places to dine in Walt Disney World. What other challenges do you want to see, food and beyond? Let us know down in the comments. In the meantime, friends, make sure to rate, review, subscribe, follow us on social, and until next time, friends, I'm Molly, and it's been magical. Bye!